no. This that we face has to do with the Lord. Amen. And all of my help. All right, man. All of my help. All right. The hymn of the morning, our benchmark. Father, I stretch my hand to thee. For no other help I know. Then we are here with help. Will you lift up your voices wherever you are and sing with us? That's it. Lord Jesus, yes, no other, no other. Lord, I know. Yes, yes, yes. If thou, O Lord, thyself from me, oh, whither, shall I? What did thine only Son endure? Oh, I love him. Only Son. Oh, before, oh, I drew, Lord, my breath, and oh, what pain, what labor, what pain, what labor, to secure my soul, glory to God, endless. Praise God. Praise God. Praise Him. Praise God. Praise Him. Praise God. Praise Him. Praise God. Praise Him. Praise God. Praise God. Praise Him. Praise God. From whom? All and all of God's children said amen. Amen. Thank you, Brother Green. Thank you, choir ensemble. Amen. And thank you to all that are here to make this production. Amen. Amen. God is good. Amen. All the time. And all the time, God is good. Amen. That's a message that just in itself, those words, if men everywhere would believe and resort to that, oh, what a better world this would be. Our lesson this morning is taken from the Gospel of as recorded by St. Mark. And it's Mark's account of the feeding of the 5,000. And then Jesus' rescue of the disciples when he walked on water. On that night of that tempestuous storm. And our subject from that text of Mark 6, verses 47 through 48, our subject is, he sees your toiling.
All right. Amen.
He sees your toiling. Our background scripture is going to take you in, and I want you to read them, study them during the week. It's going to take you in verses 33 through 50. But our text scriptures are 47 and 48. We're going to read a portion, verses 46 to 50, just for your hearing this morning. And when he had sent them away, he departed into a mountain to pray. Thank you, Lord. And when even was come, or we would say evening, the ship was in the midst of the sea, and he alone on the land. And watch this. And he saw them toiling in rowing, for the wind was contrary unto them. And about the fourth watch of the night, he cometh unto them, walking upon the sea, and would have passed by them. But when they saw him walking upon the sea, they supposed it had been a spirit, and cried out, for they all saw him and were troubled. And immediately he talked with them. Isn't that all right? And said unto them, be of good cheer. It is I. Be not afraid. That's enough, I think, right there. That's just comforting to me right there. Whatever you are facing, if you can just hear, if you just listen, you'll hear Jesus say, be not afraid. Be of good cheer. It is I. He sees your toil. You know, there's an old saying that a ship is all right in the sea, but the sea is all wrong in the ship. Yeah. And when you get too much sea in your ship, you're in trouble. You are indeed in trouble. Let's introduce this, if you will. I shall be long. But I want to tell you that as you look at this text, when you look back at verses 33 through 34, you'll find out that Jesus sees this group. Matter of fact, he and his disciples are trying to go to a private place where they can just relax and kind of regroup. And the people, he's got in a ship, and the people see him and go out. The Mark says they outwent him. They went ahead of him because they felt like they knew where he was going. And when Jesus got there and looked at the crowd, he said, Mark said, he had compassion on them because they looked like sheep without a shepherd. I would imagine if he looked down on America and the world today, under the without these circumstances of the pandemic, I think he would probably have the same summary statement. They look like sheep without a shepherd. Disturbed society. We got people all upset over what all the government won't let me do this and got me staying in. And you know what? When I was growing up, they used to have a saying, you better be careful because you don't know where death is. And that sure is the truth now. Yeah, you don't know where death is. But we are all disturbed. And some, I'm sure, I know, are rightfully so. Over 30 million have filed for unemployment. Just a couple months ago, we were humming along the best income, best this, best that, best this. But sometimes we may be best in everything except best in God.
All right.
Excuse the expression. So, Jesus says they look like sheep without a shepherd. Well, as he began to teach them out there, it got late. Over 5,000 men had gathered. Yeah. So biblical scholars estimate that there were probably in the neighborhood of 20 to 25,000 folks when you include women and children. And Jesus asked his disciples a question, said, well, what can we give them to eat? And they thought, Lord have mercy, what is Jesus talking about? Here we got all these folk out here. And hey, we only got 200 pence in the treasury. You know, that's how we always do. We always look at what we don't have. Somebody help me. Yeah. And he said, well, okay, what do you have? He said, well, we've got 5 loaves and 2 fish. Bring it to me. Yeah, bring it to me. Now, I want to say this, and I may be challenged on it. There are many in the food lines that have never been there before. Yeah. Many. And I hear so much about what we do not have. But let me, if I can, turn your attention to something the other way. Instead of looking at what you don't have, start looking at what you do have. You do have the ability to get in the line. Somebody help me. You are able to go whether you drive, walk, or ride a bicycle. You are able to get in the line. You are here still on this side of death. And apparently God is making some resources because you didn't go down there thinking you wasn't going to get anything. You went down to wherever you went because you felt that there was provisions there. And listen, where did they come from? Give me what you got, Jesus said. And Jesus began, and somebody said nobody can break bread like Jesus. When he began to start breaking those 5 loaves, Reverend Watson, and then breaking up those 2 fish, and they wasn't big old buffalo fish and all that. No, they were small fish. Listen, the sermon of Mark is that at the end, and this is in all the Gospels, at the end they took up 12 basketfuls after everybody had eaten. A long time ago, I heard a message said a little becomes a lot in the hands of Jesus.
Amen.
Yes, a little. You know, when you start out with a lot, you don't need Jesus. Mentally, so to speak. But when you start out with little, then that's God's way of saying, if you call on me, I can transform it. Last other thing that I'm going to make in this introduction. When he finishes that, he tells his disciples, get in a boat and go to the other side so you can get some rest. And I'm going to go up in the mountains to pray. I'm in verses 46 and 40 through 48. And Mark says, as he's in the mountain praying, they go get in the ship, head across. and said Jesus sees them.
Yeah, he saw it.
He's in the mountain. They out on the sea.
Yeah.
He's praying,
Yeah.
renewing.
Yeah.
Somebody heard what I said. After all of that feeding and all of that, I'm sure he was exhausted physically. The virtue of him had gone. He's praying.
Yes.
Sometimes we miss opportunities. We spend so much time trying to do, but we never spend any time refueling. Yeah, that's what worship is all about. It's a refueling time. If you can do it for your car and your automobile, you know, maybe the Lord needs to let us run out of gas. Then we'll go by his service station. But anyway, I digress. But Mark says that he sees them, and I don't know what he could see from the mountain. I just think he sees them because he's Jesus. And knows the condition they're in. And but what gets me is Mark adds something else. He says in there, in verse 47, 46, he says that he came to the disciples in the fourth watch.
Yeah. Fourth watch. Fourth watch.
Now, let me tell you why that's important. The Jewish evening time frame, the evening was divided. Well, let me start with the day. A day was from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yeah.
A night was from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Are y'all with me? Yeah. And they divided it up into 3-hour sections.
Yeah.
From 6 to 9, 3 hours. From 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. would be the first watch. Are y'all following me? Yeah. And then from 9 to 12 would be the second watch.
Yes, sir.
And then from 12 to 3 would be the third watch.
Yes, sir.
And then from 3 to 6.
All right. This is the fourth watch.
Did y'all catch what that?
Oh, yeah.
He didn't come in the first watch.
No.
He didn't come in the second watch. He did not come in the third watch. He saw them rowing out there on that tempestuous sea. And he came to them at the last watch of the night. Somebody help me here. Woo. If he had, I don't know, this is my spiritual theology, my theology. Had he come in the first watch, they wouldn't have seen all the turmoil and the dangerous ways that they that they actually saw by the fourth watch. Can I get a witness? And that's why I think that old saying is right. He may not come when you want him, but he's right on time. God sees our toil. Jesus sees our toiling. We toil, number one, first against sin. And sin, labor, and all toiling stem from the original sin. When sin came into the world, and I'm speaking from Genesis chapter 3, verses 13 to 19. When sin came into the world, it brought with it all of these things that cause us to toil. As a matter of fact, as part of Adam's punishment, so to speak, God said from now on, the ground will be cursed. Somebody help me here. He didn't curse Adam. Don't get that wrong. He cursed the ground. He said from labor, from now on, from the sweat of your brow. Help me, Lord Jesus. And from now on, thistles, everything you try to do, there's always going to be something combating you. Somebody help me. Yeah. It won't be a cakewalk anymore. While you were in the garden, you had everything. And from now on, everybody that comes from your loins will have to be toiling, laboring. And my brothers and sisters, look around us. Everywhere. Those of us who come to accept Jesus Christ as our Savior, and depend on God, we are suspended in a world
Yes, sir.
full of sin. And if you put that on the screen, and y'all want everyone to see that our lives are just like vessels in the sea of sin. All around us, whoever we are, everything we're trying to do, and every around us, sin is everywhere. Robbery, thievery, lying, everything. You can't leave home. And our vessels are faced with evil, conflict, and hardship. But Paul has a word for that. He said, listen, I want you, in Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 11, he said, I want you to stand, put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Everything that Satan throws at you, I've given you something to help you stand. And then he goes on and lays out the whole armor of God. We are toiling amidst sin, but we don't have to give in. Somebody help me here. Yeah, we can stand, my brothers and sisters. We can stand against the wiles of the devil. And then the second thing I see there in this text is that we're toiling against suffering. Yes, suffering is universal. There's no one exempt from suffering. Solomon wrote in Ecclesiastes, he says, for what had man of all this labor and of this vexation of his heart, wherein he had labored under the sun? For all his days are sorrow, and his travail grief. Yea, his heart taketh not rest in the night. This is also vanity. Where can you go? It used to be a song. Where can I go but to the Lord? Everywhere. Find me a troublous place. Tell me where there's complete peace. Tell me where there's joy. Everywhere you go, you're going to have to toil. Sickness everywhere. Over 80, almost 85,000 deaths. Over 1.3 million cases in America, just America. And they're saying that cancer diagnoses have gone down, and they're disturbed over it because everyone is so focused on the pandemic.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Job says, we're not exempt. Suffering, none is exempt. Because Job says, man that is born of a woman, and this is gender neutral, really. Man that is born of a woman, Job 14:1, is of a few days and full of trouble. But I tell you, I like what Peter says in 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 15 through 16. He says, now, if you're gonna suffer, where he's on the screen, let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters. Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, did y'all hear what he said? Let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God on this behalf. In other words, if you suffer, not because of evil, if you suffer not because of wrongdoing, and you suffer because of you are a Christian, and you have not harmed anyone, you ought to glorify God. Yeah, just let your suffering, because you like Jesus. He never did anything wrong, but yet he suffered. Somebody help me here. And so, my brothers and sisters, I don't know what suffering you're going through. It may be physical, it may be emotional, it may be financial, it may be relational, whatever suffering you are having right now. Listen, count it all joy when you fall in dire temptation, and use it to glorify God. Lastly, thank God Jesus sees our toiling. Your neighbor may not see it, Your husband or your wife may not see it. Your friends may not see it. But Jesus, as he saw his disciples out on that sea, he sees your toil. And he cares about your toil. For he had Peter to write that we need to cast all our cares on him. For he cares for you. Jesus cares. Yes, you may be lonely. You may be in a depressional state. And you may think nobody cares. Nobody sees what you're going through. Let me stop you right now and tell you, Jesus sees our toiling. He saw it before the pandemic got here. He saw it in December. Somebody help me. He saw it in January. He saw it in February. He saw it in March, April, and he sees it in May. And he also sees it in June and July. However long. I don't know when school going to start again. I know what they want. I don't know when the baseball and the football and all these things that we're so worried about. But one thing I do know, Jesus sees your toil. Our toiling, my brothers and sisters, is matchless to his comfort and compassion. When he sees you toiling, his heart goes out to you. And he moves just like he moved with the disciples. Listen, don't you think that story is over just because it was written 2,000 years ago? That same Jesus, he sees you out in your vessel of life. He sees what you're going through. He sees where you've been. Listen, he understands everything from afar. And thank God, come on, when it's the 4th hour, whatever it is, for what? Come, Jesus.
Glory.
Put one more time, brother Jeremy. Put that last one up there. Do not worry. I know that's, what is he talking about? This preacher he's out of touch with reality. He sees our toiling. I want to tell you what he said to the disciples. He says, be of good cheer. Somebody's probably saying, well, he's late. He waited. We've been going through this ever since 9 o'clock. Yeah. I've been down ever since February. I don't have a job. I don't have this and I don't have that. And whatever Jesus does now, he's late. Listen, he comes and says, be of good cheer. Not back there. Be of good cheer now. For you know why? It is I. And this is the only I that really makes a difference. I know we use that word, that pronoun, that personal pronoun, I. But I doesn't have any impact except on I. But oh, when Jesus said, I am with you. Somebody help me here. I like when Jesus uses the word I because it means that he is personally getting involved in your situation. Lo, I'm with you. Be of good cheer. Let's bow. Lord, we hope and pray that at this point, someone would realize through this word that you care and that you see what we're going through. We may sometimes seem helpless, and we are. But we should never let our helplessness overcome our hope. Because we heard you. Help this to resonate in someone's heart whom I don't even know. That be of good cheer. It is I, the immaculate Son of God. I, the able one. I, the one who died for you. I see your toil. Don't take any rash steps. Don't do anything because you're out of a job and you may not know. If you trust in God, the rescue is just around the corner. In the 4th hour. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we give you glory and praise. And we will obey you. Be of good cheer. It is I. And be not afraid. May God bless you. May He keep you. As the choir sings, someone, wherever you are, may be moved by the Holy Spirit at this word that the storm is almost gone. Sister Toiling is going to lead us in that. And as she sings, someone may be ready to accept Jesus. And because you heard him say, be of good cheer in your life. It is I. Be not afraid. If you hear it, then now is the time for you to accept Christ. And let me tell you, it's easy for you to accept it. First of all, acknowledge that He is the Christ. What? Tell Him, Lord, come into my life. I accept you. I believe you. I rely upon you as my Lord and Savior. I confess that I need you in my life. Oh Lord, thank you. And when we've done that, when we acknowledge our sin before Him and ask Him into our lives, that He'll come and He'll direct our path. So if you may not and of course we can't accept you into the church right now, but whatever you're doing, Sunday, from the listening to the word or whatever it was. God will, He's already received you right now. And we will receive you. It's almost over. To all, amen. Brother Green, Sister Deloney, Reverend Watson, Sister Banks, Sister Johnson, Sister Woods, Brother Germany. Thank God for you all to come and let the Lord use you to put your word in worship throughout the word. We praise you. We thank God for you on this third Sunday of May. And may God bless you. And as soon as it's safe, y'all can hear me.
Amen.
As soon as it's safe, then we will come together again.
Amen.
We on my MOBC Facebook and on YouTube, and on Mondays we will load it to our webpage at mypleasantmobc.net. mypleasantmobc.net. May God bless you and may He keep you is our prayer. And for the benediction, Father, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you that I hear your son say, be of good cheer.
Yes.
It is I. Be not afraid. Now, Lord, keep us in perfect peace and in harmony and direct our path.
Yes.
We praise you. We give you glory. And all of God's children said, Amen. May God's peace be upon you.